Hello, Toastmasters and guests. Do you like your job?
I do.
Would there be an aching void in your life if you couldn't crawl out of bed in the morning, spend some quality time in rush hour traffic, and then cap the day off with associate with happy coworkers? Many people would say, no, I don't like my job, I hate it. But what are my options? And I make the assumption you enjoy having 3 square meals a day, and don't want to sleep out in the rain, so you're going to need to find some sort of income replacement. So the question becomes, should I start my own business? My own business. Freedom. No controlling bosses. No artificial limits on my salary, how much I can make. What could be better? Well, as I have found through my experience, self-employment is not for everyone. And so today I'm going to try to give you a realistic idea of what it's like to be self-employed. The first thing I would suggest, if you come in close, you should decide what's your objective. Are you trying to build a business, or are you trying to create a job for yourself? I come across a lot of business owners, especially small business owners, who are really not entrepreneurs, rather they're employees that don't want to have a boss. For example, plumbers, electricians, tradespeople that create a job for themselves and then kind of shove off the boring accounting stuff onto their wife or their girlfriend or their significant other. Building a business, you can take my advice for both building a business and creating a job. The main difference is you can sell a business. It's pretty hard to sell a job. Also, you're kind of limited when you have a job in terms of how much you can do, because you're pretty much limited to what you're doing as opposed to leveraging other people. After you decide what kind of business you're trying to build, you want to decide, am I going to sell a product or am I going to provide a service? Some considerations are, how knowledgeable are you about this service or product? Can you become an expert? Can you make a living doing this? Is there enough demand for your service or product? A lot of people are really good at what they do, but they're not very profitable. This is not a business. This is what I would call a hobby. Will my business be viable? What's my USP? USP is unique selling proposition. Why would anyone pick your business or service as opposed to your competitors? In deciding what your USP is, I would advocate looking for skill sets, intersection skill sets. For example, I'm an accountant, but if I had restaurant experience, industry experience, I would take that intersection and combine that where I would specialize for restaurant accounting. So the more you can narrow the focus, I think the better chance you have. I would also highly recommend creating a business plan. How are you going to market this product? Do you have the competitors? What's the market demand for this product or service? And especially doing financial projections, what do you need to survive? What are your economic needs to make this business successful? There's an old saying that there are riches and niches in terms of becoming an expert, in terms of finding a niche, and that's why I had originally said, what am I good at? How knowledgeable am I? Can I become an expert? Some of the advantages are there's less competition. You can command higher fees because you're not perceived as being a commodity where price is the sole determinant of whether someone's going to hire you. And you can get referrals from colleagues. I know in my group, there's lots of accountants, but there are different types of accountants. And so I would refer people to, say, QuickBooks setup people and focus on taxes. Now, there are some disadvantages. If your niche gets in trouble, you could be circling the drain with your niche. Or you could become the victim of obsolescence. For example, I don't think a very good niche would be be a VCR repairman, because I don't think they have much of a future, much of a present. There are three components of any business. There's sales and marketing, operations, how you conduct a business, your business processes, and finance. In order to be successful, you need to fully embrace the idea that sales is not a four-letter word. In fact, nothing ever happens unless someone makes a sale. You want to find out who your ideal customer is, or client is. Now, when you first start out, anyone who is willing and able to pay your invoice is an ideal customer. That's willing and able, not either or. And I would say that once you become experienced, you want to focus on a niche, because that's going to determine how you market. For example, when I first started out, the idea was you got a network, you get a network, you get a network. So I go to these Chamber of Commerce meetings, I go to leads groups, and what I found was that there were a lot of non-decision makers at these meetings, sometimes also known as employees, nonprofits looking for donations, volunteers, and sponsors, or someone trying to sell me a product. There were a lot more sellers than there were buyers. And so you as a business person, you want to know who your ideal client is and either go to where they are, or if you're meeting with non-decision makers, make sure that they are gatekeepers in the sense that they can lead you to the decision maker. I always harken back to TME, time, money, energy. You spend a lot of time and energy. If you spend a lot of time and energy marketing to non-decision makers, you may enjoy yourself, but you're really not going to be very profitable. Operations. What are your business processes? I would say that you really want to get comfortable with the internet. Most software today is not being written for the desktop, it's being written for the cloud, because it's a lot more profitable to sell you a subscription than have you buy a product. For example, QuickBooks. They have a desktop version which was really dominant, but the deal was you could buy it and then you could keep it for 3 years before you had to upgrade. They would basically strong on you and upgrade you to get payroll, because your payroll wasn't running after that. But you got use of the software for 3 years. Well, they've gone to the cloud, so now you get to pay a monthly subscription. And they've also focused on just being accounting, and so you get to buy subscriptions for other things like CRMs and time and billing. But like I say, the software is being written from the cloud. It's known as SaaS, software as a service. It allows you to compete with large competitors. Like I'm a cloud-based accountant, and I've got clients that I have one client in Shanghai, China, and I've got a couple of clients in New York, and I've got some clients I've never met. It's because I work over the internet. So you can escape the limitations of geography, and you can focus on a niche, and your niche can be worldwide. This is kind of my secret weapon. It's called a CRM. It's probably the most critical piece of software for your business, and most people don't know what it is. It's a customer relationship manager. I practically live in my CRM during tax season, well, anytime, because I can keep track of all my customer notes, my client notes, their passwords. I can post attachments. I can make notes. I can have all the emails centralized. And so I use that as kind of like my navigation system, and I spend more time on my CRM than I do any other software, even my tax software. The final component is finance and accounting. Now, would you believe that some people find accounting and even some accountants is boring? I don't understand why. But that's sad, because accounting is the language of business. Accounting can be your best friend or your worst enemy. It can tell you who your best clients are. It can tell you who your most profitable lines of business are, where your cash is going and coming from. in the game of business, accounting is how you keep score. And if you don't know how to keep score, how are you going to win in the game of business?